Welcome to the newest edition of The Insider, the ongoing video series that keeps you up to date on all things IPW. I'm your host, J Rod. The second annual Blackout on March 26th began with an appearance of the sole IPW matchmaker Josh Raymond coming down to the ring to make a couple of announcements. Firstly, Terry Van Avery would have the night off of competing to investigate a behind-the-scenes issue going on with a member of the IPW staff. Secondly, to announce that he has decided to make this his last matchmaking endeavor and transition back to full-time wrestling. Raymond said he went out of his way to make his last card his best one yet, and he did not disappoint, as IPW Blackout was without a question the most entertaining card so far in 2023. The headliner of the event was a fatal four-way thrown together with fireworks in mind. Ren Jones would defend his IPW championship in a fatal four-way match against Anthony Katina because he impressed Josh, LaDon Sanders because he pushed Ren to the brink in our last two events, and Swartzy, a man who has been on a win streak in 2023. Raymond's speech was interrupted by Marco Modelo. Modelo, as usual, was screaming in Italian and didn't really care that nobody could understand him. Raymond would ignore Modelo to continue his announcement. While Raymond did defeat Jeremiah Goldmain and cause Goldmain to lose his matchmaking privileges, Raymond did acknowledge that Goldmain is one of the very best managers in the business and chose to reinstate Goldmain's managerial license instead of firing him. Whether you love the 24-karat lion or not, it's tough to deny that he can elevate the career of any young athlete that he chooses to endorse. Raymond then finally turned his attention to Marco Modelo. While nobody could translate Modelo's Italian, it was pretty clear that Modelo was looking for a fight. Josh Raymond and Marco Modelo began the night with a great technical match, and Josh was able to finish off yet another opponent with his crossface chicken wing submission hold. That makes 3 consecutive big wins for Josh Raymond since his return to action. For Marco Modelo, on the other hand, this makes 3 consecutive losses, all by submission. Has the locker room found a weakness in Modelo? Up next was Blackout's Patreon exclusive match, Chad Alpha versus Jarris Gray. To see this fiery matchup, join our Patreon now at the IPW regular tier. You will have access to every IPW Patreon exclusive match available. The newly reinstated managerial aficionado, Jeremiah Goldmain, was very happy to have his job back and took a little time to begin recruiting. One could already imagine that Anthony Katina would remain wrapped around Goldmain's finger, but his newest target was IPW Women's Champion Randy West. Randy had no interest in Goldmain's help, even calling Goldmain's character into question. As soon as she turned her back, Goldmain delivered a cheap shot to the women's champion and hightailed it out of the ring. Randy asked Josh Raymond to do her a favor and make one more match, Randy West versus Jeremiah Goldmain. Raymond agreed, and it was a no disqualification match for Randy's title. Randy West proved why she is feared amongst most women in this sport. She kicked Jeremiah Goldmain's ass all over the building before finally putting him down for the 1, 2, 3. Randy is next scheduled to defend her title at Destiny on April 30th. The bad blood between Jeremiah Nazareth's right-hand man Max Morrison and former Forgotten member Casey Tempest finally reached its culmination as they met in singles action. The IPW fan base has embraced Tempest since leaving the Forgotten, and it's almost as if their support was enough to make the difference as Tempest picked up what is undoubtedly the biggest win of his career. There is no question that a showdown between Casey Tempest and his former leader Jeremiah Nazareth is now imminent.
From the time we're born to the time we come of age, we are told we can be anything. We are told that we can do anything. We're told that we can become the president, a famous singer, an astronaut. We are told we can become success stories. We are told we can become heroes. Casey Tempest believes he is the hero of this story. He believes he can defeat Jeremiah Nazareth and all will be right with the world. That is not reality. You see, reality is that Casey doesn't get the girl at the end of the book. The reality is, Casey does not save everyone. The reality is, Casey Tempest is no hero. The reality is, Casey Tempest is nothing more than a failure. On April 15th, Casey, I'm going to hurt you. I will stomp your head into the ground. I'm going to make you bleed. I will make you cry out in agony in front of all of your fans. On April 15th, Casey Tempest, even you will bend to the will of Nazareth.
There you have it. At Revenge, April 15th at Y Bar and Bistro in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Casey Tempest will finally go one-on-one with Jeremiah Nazareth in a barroom brawl. And furthermore, IPW will finally see a one-on-one match between brothers Jimmy Gray and Jarris Gray in a family feud that will be the first in this company's history, as both parties reluctantly return signed contracts to management. The sick hold of Nazareth on his followers has led us to our first ever brother versus brother match. The IPW Tag Team Champions Real Hype made their first defense against one of the scariest tag teams this company has ever seen, War Inc. Underdogs going into the match, Mondo Real and Jimmy Shalwin proved to the world how valuable a mentorship can be. Real Hype knew they had to elevate their game to take on a challenge from a team like War Inc., and they absolutely did. In their best performance yet, Real Hype shocked the world once again by taking down the mammoth team of Justin Dream and Dre Jacobs to retain the IPW Tag Team Championships. Jimmy Shalwin is expected to compete at Revenge, but Mondo Real is on medical suspension for receiving stitches in his hand after sustaining a nasty cut during the match. There is an absurd ongoing debate as to whether the true IPW Michiana champion is Jamal King or Bendrick Bison. Jamal King won the title and has defended it several times. Bendrick Bison never pinned or submitted King. He just stole the title bout when King was preoccupied with a match. Bison got his shot at tough luck and pulled some shenanigans to win the match by disqualification. A championship can only change hands on a pinfall or submission, so King remains the official IPW Michiana champion. That didn't stop Bison from stealing the belt again after the match. The two would meet once again at Blackout. You can only imagine how frustrating it is for King to see Bison carry around the belt while King is still champion. In this match, Bison did show that he is a solid contender for the title, as the match was neck and neck until the end. A turning point in the match occurred when the two made their way to the outside of the ring. They fought over to the front of the building by the admissions table, and Bison would perform a huge diving elbow from the top of the bar through the table on Jamal King. As the referee's 10 count drew near, it looked as though King was going to make it in to break the count first. At the last second, Bison shoved King into the ring post and dove into the ring himself, causing Bendrick Bison to win the match via countout. This would mean King is still the Michiana champion, but that did not stop Bendrick Bison from leaving with the belt once again. I am excited to break the news that at Revenge, we will have closure. Considering their two matches have ended in countout and disqualification, Bendrick Bison will challenge Jamal King for the IPW Michiana Championship once again, this time in a no disqualification match. We will finally be able to determine who is the rightful IPW Michiana champion. Following his most recent loss at Tough Luck, Derek Wolf asked Josh Raymond to give him a tune-up match. Wolf hasn't won a single match since October. Josh Raymond told Wolf that he had the perfect opponent in mind. This opponent has some ring rust and is actually someone that Derek Wolf already has a victory over. To everyone's surprise, that opponent was a returning Felix Morio. Everyone knows that Felix and Derek have history as the two won 2022's Feud of the Year. Felix came out to a standing ovation and went right after Wolf. Once again, Derek Wolf made a tactical error and got himself rolled up as Felix Morio found victory in his return to the ring. It has been 6 months of losses for Derek Wolf. He is pissed and actually blames Josh Raymond for this.
I am really confused. I am really confused right now about the situation between myself and Josh Raymond. See, I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends, Josh. Like, I don't understand what's going on. You embarrassed me. You were disloyal to me when you put me in the match against Felix Morio. Like, I don't understand why you did that to me. I'm your friend, right? Right? And then you go and you do that? That's disloyal. Friends don't do that to each other. Josh, I thought we had a good thing going here, man. You know, we have so much in common. We have two of the most iconic finishers in IPW between the closing bell and the Taliban backpack. I mean, I took you to WWE Raw. I bought out the entire front row. I thought we were friends, Josh. Like, I don't understand. Are we still friends? Are we? I need an answer. Matter of fact, I demand an answer. You will give me an answer at IPW Revenge. You can bank on that.
As stated earlier, Terry Van Avery was put in charge of investigating a backstage incident from Tough Luck. Terry said that he had all the evidence that he needed and called out Jorge, the staff member that runs the ticket booth at our live events, to join him in the ring. Terry said that items were missing from the locker room at Tough Luck, and Jorge was seen snooping around the locker room while he had no business being there in the first place. Terry said he left his own wallet out as bait, and sure enough, the wallet came up missing. After a stern warning, Jorge pulled the wallet out of his pocket and handed it back to Terry. Terry then let Jorge know he was relieved of all of his duties and it was time to go. To everyone's surprise, Jorge blasted Terry in the back. While standing over Terry, Jorge flipped the bird to the audience and ran out of the building. When Terry finally rose to his feet, he was stupefied and even irritated with referee Otto Spencer, who was standing in the ring the entire time and did nothing to restrain Jorge. Terry did shove referee Otto, but Otto chose not to file a complaint to get Terry suspended. No matter how angry you are, it is never acceptable for any athlete to put their hands on an official. Since the event, Jorge has left management several messages stating that despite being caught red-handed, he didn't steal the wallet and doesn't appreciate being accused of things he didn't do. Jorge has been relieved from his position as doorman of IPW. Blackout's Fatal 4-Way main event was an easy early contender for Match of the Year. Anthony Katina, LaDon Sanders, and Schwartzy challenged for the IPW Championship against the swag champ himself, Red Jones. This contest was an absolute war, and it looked like any one of these four men could steal the glory at any minute. And when opportunity presented itself, that's exactly what Red Jones did. In what was easily the biggest threat to his title yet, Jones still prevailed. The reign of Red Jones has reached the 6-month mark, and there appears to be no end in sight. We will see if Jones can extend the streak, as he will defend the title at Revenge. As for the match, we recommend that you check it out on our YouTube channel, as it was one of the best of 2023. That concludes this edition of The Insider. This Saturday, we begin our first triple header of 2023. 3 weekends, 3 live events. Tickets for the next 3 events are available now on Eventbrite.com. Get yours and join us in Kalamazoo, Michigan at Y Bar and Bistro on Saturday, April 15th at 7 p.m. as IPW presents Revenge.